Am I the a-hole for telling my sister-in-law she needs to keep her mouth shut around my child or stay away from us? I, 27 female, have a 7-month-old son with my husband. This might be a little early to be bothered by this, but my sister-in-law, husband's older sister, is determined to bring up around my child that they have a grandmother and uncle they are unlikely to ever meet. Background: my mom had a son who was 21 years older than me. I saw him a few times when I was young, and we were around mom's extended family. She would try to introduce us and get us to interact, and the interactions I remember were, "Get it out of my face," it being me, or when mom wasn't there and I did try to talk to him because I was encouraged to by others, he completely ignored me and walked away. A few times he even looked directly at me, so I knew he heard me before he walked away. Family members always said he had a rough life with mom, and that he was still upset she had cheated on his dad. And both were train wrecks, etc. I never knew my dad. All I know is my mom's son, and I have different dads. Last time I saw him I was 12. The last time I saw my mom is when I was 18. I didn't want to be responsible for taking care of her. She was a heavy drinker and not a very good mother. It saddened me because none of the extended family were too great about it, so I was truly alone. I was lucky that my husband's family were all nice and accepting. But after I became pregnant, sister-in-law started asking questions about how I would introduce my son to my mom and her son. I told her I wouldn't, and he would be told more when he's old enough to understand. She was like, "You have to at least try to introduce them." And I asked how I was supposed to put them in his life. Someone who has very clearly shown, even into his 30s, that he wanted nothing to do with me, and a woman who drinks so heavily her teenage child had to take care of her. My husband told her that she needs to stop, and they fought about it on a couple of occasions. Then Saturday we were at his parents' house for a lunch with family members nobody had seen in years, and sister-in-law came up to me while I was holding my son and telling him that he has an uncle and grandma on my side that he needs to meet. She was directing it at my baby son. I was glad he was a baby, but it showed me how far she is willing to go with this. And what if he was older and able to understand? I told her to stop and walked away, but she tried to say more, so I told her she needs to keep her mouth shut about that around my child or stay away from us, because I will not let her interfere with something that is none of her concern. She told me she has every right to speak to her nephew. She got so loud it altered others in the other room, and my husband told her she was wrong as well. But she claimed I could have been more polite and not made a scene in front of the rest of the family. Am I the a-hole?